Jakob, could you please explain how you lived this night or experienced this night? Tough, difficult, good team. That, unfortunately for us, extremely professional mindset and dominated the match from the first second, the first 20 minutes. We had a tempo shock, and I would say the combination of meeting the team that we met and having played a competition match for 2 months makes it difficult for us. And I think, but I'm okay with the last part of the first half, the last 20 minutes, where we equalized and had a chance for 2-1. Of course, unfortunate that we got a goal against us, more or less at last kick before the half time, but they were better than us. And of course, it was tough. We ran a lot around on the field. After them, they had possession of the football most of the time, of course. I regret the last goal, but it was a tough night. And I must say, they were a level or two above us, better than us, and the opponents that we met in the group stage. We must acknowledge that. So in overtime, first half, they scored for 2-1, and then also at the very last minute. How much does it irritate to see you having these goals against you right before the half and at the end? Of course, it's annoying and irritating, because if you go back during halftime with 1-1, you have other vibes, but that's the way it is. Random goal. 3-1 is, of course, unfortunate and unlucky. And then the possibility, before that, the possibility was still there to do something at Etihad Stadium with a result that was within the scope. So, of course, that's regrettable, but I'm quite okay with all of that. I'm okay with the fact that we lose to a opponent that's better than us on all parameters, both on the field and on the other side of the lines as well, and we have to acknowledge that, and we have to learn from that and develop. Jakob, going forward, can you do something about this history without any competition matches for 2 months? So will you have a pitches to play games like matches like that again? Well, I think I have to check, but there could be a match day in January would be an advantage for Danish teams, at least. But it's not to make any excuses, because we're not the first team, the first Danish team that had to play a match like this. FC Copenhagen has done this previously, and other Danish clubs have done so, and have delivered better results than us. But it's a combination, and also the opponent that we met today, where you risk that you are running many meters in vain, like we did. Jakob, what are you happy about with your own team? If we look at the Danish league starting next weekend, well, I'm happy that they fought and they gave all they could and in a difficult situation. So I'm happy with the last 20 minutes of the first half. I think we fought really well, and we fought our way back and made an equalizer and changed the situation a little bit and scored a great goal, and also another big chance with Magnus to score. So I'm mostly happy about that we played against the best club in the world, and I think this is, of course, was a difficult game, but and we will not be able to change that fact. But I'm still happy. Guardiola's Pep was setting up there, and the English journalist talked about him about that some of the players got injured, not that it was deliberate or the fault of the Copenhagen players, but that the referee was quite a hardliner, and that he was not friendly against Copenhagen. No, I think the referee did what he had to do, I got a yellow card because I protested against a throw-in, and well, yes, it was a tough game, a physical game. We had to, but I don't think we did it in any mean way, and I think the referee did a good job, both ways. Regarding the end of the match, how did you see the balance between trying to limit this 1-2 result, but also to still be aggressive? Well, I don't know if there was any balance because we wanted to do more, but we couldn't. So we ended up, well, I ended up having some of the same. I hope Christian couldn't deliver the same like he did against Manchester United. I know it was 10 against 11 at that time, but we were just pressured all the way back in our defense. And the times then we tried to apply high pressure, they got out of that situation like no other team we've met and will meet in the way they can do it. So, yeah, we wanted to and make some situations that could mean a goal, but it was difficult, and we were in a situation where we actually achieved the balance, and then they scored. So I think it's Jeppe's turn. Thank you. Neestrup, it's the ultimate test to meet the best team in the world. But what does it take for a team like yours to get points or even win against Manchester City when they show up like they did today? Well, that's difficult, but you have to grab the chances you have and the possibilities you have. So it's not impossible. There's also always a chance, but we won't be in a place where a Danish team or FC Copenhagen can play on the same level as Manchester City for 2 matches. But of course, we have to learn from this and what we met today, and be open-minded and curious towards that, because there are a lot of things that I and the players can learn from vis-a-vis the challenge that we face today. You also mentioned that the last goal the City got, it just makes the possibility that there could be in the return match more difficult. So how do you perceive this return match with the result after today? It'll be difficult, of course, but we'll go over there. And we have 3 matches in the Danish league where we need some results, and then we are going over there to Manchester, and as a minimum we have to finish this European campaign the best way possible for FC Copenhagen, no matter what the scoreboard says. Which thoughts that you have about the team today? You used 2 new players today. Well, I didn't think about whether you could use new players or not, and I think Magnus and Scott both played well. And I would say regarding McKenna, he hasn't played a competitive match or game for a long time, so I thought it was important for him to also to kickstart the spring season for him. And regarding Lucas quarantine, we knew we had to find a replacement, and Magnus was one of several options. And he did well during training, and he had a lot of confidence. And even though there were things today where he had a difficult time, I think he played really well eventually, and had good energy, and also with good quality for periods that we know he can deliver. Biggest consideration for me was, can you cover the width of the field with 3-5-1, or which kind of defense will I use? These were my major thoughts. Jakob, you mentioned tempo shock earlier. How can you use the 90 minutes today regarding Sunday and Silkeborg that you're playing? Yes, that's what I said. And regarding the Danish league, Superliga, I think that it's good for us with this match here, because now we have started and we have to try to use that momentum. And we know that it's two different tournaments, two two different bases, and there's the match in Silkeborg. That's one thing, but you could say it was a disadvantage regarding this match, that it was the first match, and it was a disadvantage regarding Champions League match and so forth. But I think it's okay for the Danish league. Jakob, I have to challenge you, like Sebastian, with about next year, when the European tournaments will be changed. If I'm not mistaken, it's actually the two last match days, 7 and 8, Champions League and European League or Europe League. They are the last 2 weeks of January. So you have this challenge that you just described. You will have it again in a year. So what can you, or can you do anything about this if you are in Denmark? Do you need to have competitive matches or better training opponents, or what are you going to do? Well, you could say that 2 weeks makes a difference. So the fact that it's at the end of January rather than mid-February where we are now, that's already a help. So I think personally it's fine that we play the Danish League and the Cup, the Danish Cup in December. I think that's something, and something to push forward with that tournament. But I don't know what the other options are for the first and last game being so close together. I think that should enhance the possibilities for delivering a good result after Christmas. But it's no excuse. Had we played 5, 6 matches in a row, we would still have had a very hard time tonight. On that note, thank you for tonight.